What's up, everybody? This is Tucker from MACkite, and I got my coworker Jeff here with me, Mr. Always on the Water Shredder, and we're gonna go do another pick 5 in our series here today. This has been a fun one to shoot, and we haven't heard from Jeff yet, and he is a staple in the foil and wing game here in our shop. So I dragged him in here and told him he had to pick 5. Usually he's got about pick 30 in his Subaru, nestled in there, hiding out.
Demo room 2 or 3. Here. I can pick 5 though.
Yeah, but we'll see what Jeff has to say for himself here, and if he can reason through it, or if senior brain's going to get the best of him.
Yeah. Well, that could happen too. Because I forget what I ride all the time, but no. 5. If I had to pick 5, I want to set the tone for this though, because there's people from all over the United States, potentially outside U.S., different riding locations, different conditions. So if I wanted to pick 5 for the Great Lakes, that's the 5. That's how I went in my mindset, what I'd pick. Based on our wind, based on the water conditions.
Yeah.
To get me on the water from probably 12 knots, maybe up to the upper 20s, because I only can pick 5.
So you're forsaking everything under 12.
I am.
All right.
I am. Just
I get the logic.
I just, you said I'm a little old. I don't want to work so hard to get up on foil. You can ride in the under 12, but it's just a lot of pumping, a lot of patience.
Jeff's also a little bit privileged.
I am.
Kids are out of the house. He
am.
has some time.
I am.
He's right at the beach.
I am.
In his retirement home. You know,
life's good.
Jeff can be on the water in 30 seconds.
I can. So if it's not good, or if it's good, I can get out and get off real quick.
Yeah,
so picking 5, I weigh 175 pounds, give or take. Probably a little less at some points, but not much more than that. And like I said, my wind range already for the Great Lakes. Number 1 would be a duotone unit 5.5. Hands down. It's got a lot of lift to get you up and riding, and we get a lot of that marginal wind. That's 14 to 16, 13 to 18, and I find that 5.5 to be the right size for me for getting powered up, getting up on foil. And so if you have a little skill set, that 5.5 can get you up in the light wind.
Versatile performance too.
I would agree.
Great in the waves.
Yep,
you can
great
freestyle
waves,
with that. Free
powered
ride,
up, fast.
You name it, you can do
so
it.
The duotone unit would be my go-to for that the 5.5 size. My second item would be the F1 Strike. 4 meter. The reason why I would do that, I believe the 5.5 and the 4 spread is a good spread for me, based on our conditions. Like I said, between that 13, 14 knots up to the upper 20s, maybe getting into the 30s.
Yeah.
I think the new Strike, the version 3, sacrifices a little bit on the low end, but I wouldn't need that because I'd take the 5.5 as far as I could. And then our wind usually bumps when it goes up to around 18, then it jumps to 20, and then into the upper 20s pretty quick. So I think that my experience on the 4 Strike 3, it can handle a lot of wind.
Yep.
And it's a great surf wing, which when we get a lot of wind here, we get a lot of waves.
Yeah. You're riding that 4 Strike this morning.
I felt like
6 to 8 foot.
Yeah, it was
25 knots.
It was a bit crazy out there, but
yes,
it was good. Yeah. So that's why I would pick that. Very versatile wing in the high end, and I can hold it down probably into the 30s and a little bit more. So those would be my 2 wings, the 5.5 and the 4 spread. The board was the tough one, but my new favorite is the F1 Rocket S.
Wing S.
Yes. The reason why I like that is I've been predominantly riding around a 75 liter for my go-to board, and I've also had a downwind board. But with the new F1, it's got a little more length at 5.2, and it's a 70 liter. What I found with that length, a little bit narrower board construction, it's just more versatile. Meaning I can cheat the lower end with it a little more. The touchdowns are a little more forgiving, and even when I'm on it, because I'm a little non-traditional how I get on my board and get up riding. I kind of joked with Tucker when I first started that I may need to change the way and get more,
Yeah, you do the side saddle.
I do the side saddle.
Like
and
he
goes, if it works, if it works, don't change it. So I haven't changed it. And so I say that with the extra 5.2 length, it just gives a little bit more that pitch stability when I'm on it. And the 70 liter also it's not a sinker for me, but it's a semi-sinker. So when big wave days like today, when I am on it, it'll sink in the water a little bit and be below the water surface turbulence. So that's good on the higher end days. And then on the lighter wind days, that extra length is just, I found I'm able to get up and cheat it. So if I had to pick one board, not have my downwind board, which I love, that would be the 5.2 in the Rocket Wing S.
And seeing the progression now. You're kind of getting to the point where you're going to be starting doing some jumps. Maybe Jeff will be out there doing some flocka.
That's
need a little bit more volume to land on so he can ride off.
We'll see about that. But yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Coming from a kiting background, it's kind of, I don't know, kiting when you can get big air.
It's like unhooked kiting, really.
Yeah. Little rallies, I guess, we'll see. We'll see how the joints and the hips will handle all that. But so there's 3. So that leaves 2 more. Well, that would be the foil for sure. My last 2 would be my foil choices. 7Cs, 1200 for sure. That's it's been one that I really enjoy. It's very, very versatile. I mean, it's got pretty good glide and speed.
Yeah.
It's surfy enough that it can take a lot of different waves. It'll stay in the pocket of Lake Michigan waves. Sometimes we get these ankle biters to knee to maybe mid thigh that are just kind of slow rolling. And that 1200 7Cs will stay in that pocket.
Yeah. Even on like a chest high day, if you're doing a downwinder, you're offshore, side shore waves, where they're not really breaking, they're bigger, but they're just kind of rolling slow. Yeah.
So that 1200 for me is good. I would think maybe going down a little smaller in that mid to high aspect, similar, but on those really light days, that 1200 7Cs, I can pop up.
Oh, the stall speed is so low, and
you just hit that one.
You're fit, like you could ride smaller, but then you're always gonna be flirting with stalling, right? Like with the 1200, you can just rip turns on those small waves and not really worry, about stalling out or I can't make that kind of a turn because I can't carry enough momentum out of it, or I agree, man. I think the 1200 is fantastic, and if great for wake foiling too, or surf foiling, or whatever you want to do on the days where it's not great. For winging or.
And you brought out a good point, and that's kind of what I like about F1s is when they do slow down, it's just like slowly coming down the water, which is great because sometimes if you lose a little momentum or wind speed, you can just tweak that last minute out and just still stay on foil and come back out.
Yeah, covers a lot of mistakes.
It does. It does. And like you mentioned, not only the small waves but the bigger waves. But compared to my last choice, my number 5 would be.
Can't be a foil drive, Jeff.
No, it's
That's not playing by the. Well, we could do it, I suppose.
You could when you're over 50. Come on.
I saw reading between the lines here. Like, then I can ride every day.
I can ride every day.
I can go downwind for miles on my 70-liter board.
It would be the Eagle 890.
Yeah, buddy.
And obviously, for obvious reasons, the speed, the glide. I mean, that thing is just charges.
I agree. That's been a favorite of mine
for its size.
Release,
I feel it has decent lift for under 1,000, and it's great for riding a swell, riding a decent wave, even down the line, a peeling wave. I mean, I like a little more front foot pressure when I'm riding, so I can feel that feedback and just lean into it and just get my surf vibe out.
Yeah, buddy.
So that would be my last of my 5 that I picked. So the 890 Eagle, the 7Cs 1200, the 5.2 70-liter Rocket Wing S.
Yeah.
And then my 2 wings would be the Strike 4-meter and then the Duotone 5.5 unit.
I'm going to throw a wrench out there. I'm going to mix things up a bit because we've done a few already, and we're all doing it from our perspective here in the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. We have a certain type of conditions. I think this is really really representative of the average conditions out there for most people that aren't in Maui or San Francisco or Hood River, or someplace like that. But let's flip the script a little bit. If you were in a high wind locale, we'll say somewhere like San Francisco maybe, or Hood River, where you're getting some swell, but it's not Maui 12-foot offshore. Because there are a ton of riders now in some of those locations or visiting those locations. How would that change what you've picked?
And that's a good question. That's why I kind of set the tone for why I picked what I picked.
Right.
I think what I would change, believe it or not, I would probably go to one foil.
I can believe it.
I would ditch the 1200 7Cs. I'm not sure I'd go to the 890 though. I might pick something in right around 1,000 in the mid to high aspect.
Okay.
Or 1,100.
Like skate 1050 maybe?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, maybe that 1,000 or just under. Maybe in the skate.
Maybe.
Potentially, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
1000 is a pretty killer 1,000 centimeter foil. That covers.
That's probably where I would land.
Range.
So that would be my first major change. So that would take out, and I would take that and trade it probably for an added wing. So I wouldn't. I may keep my 5.5. I'd probably drop to a 5 meter.
Sure.
For my largest wing, and then I would go to a 4 still, and then probably. This is a tough one, man.
Right.
No, I'm gonna switch this up. I go a 5, 3, 5, and maybe a 2, 5.
Yeah, so really spanning a lot of
Yep.
range.
2,
between
5,
the 5 and the
2,
3,
5, 3,
yeah.
5, and the 5, because I feel in those areas, maybe when it blows, it blows. So I'm probably gonna be on the 3, 5 or the 2, 5 most of the time. In the
If you
summertime.
pick the right 5, you can cover a lot of top end range.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I think on a heavyweight, I'm 75, so I'm probably more in that 68, 168, 165 range. So I think I can make that 3.5 and that, work. Once it hits 23 knots or 22 knots, I believe I can make it work. I keep the same board, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I just keep that 5.2.
It's a good choice for a
70
single
liter.
board. Yeah,
I think I could charge it in the days, and then I think it'd be good in the river swell. I think it'd be good out in the Bay Area. I haven't ridden there. I've been there, but watched a lot of videos, a lot of what's going on there. I know they have a lot of currents, a lot of changing things that go on there. So I think the 5.5 I would ride there that a fair amount potentially. But when it's nuking, anything over 27, 28 knots, I go down to that 2.5 or 2.8 size.
Nice.
So that would be the change up.
Cool.
Go to one foil and add the wings a little bit more.
Yeah, you had it all figured out, man. I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you that
No.
question.
You kind of
just
threw me for a
sprung it
loop
on
there.
you.
That's what I do. I really think, guys call into the shop, and they're asking, you're getting to that next level of being an intermediate or even advanced rider, which we can get into what that means later. But and they want to know, is there a one foil that I could just have in my quiver to ride most of the time?
Yeah.
And I know we've talked to the shop about this. I'm really thinking that higher mid aspect. What I mean by that is that 7 to 8 range. Depending on your weight, for me, it would be right around that 1,000 or just under. And I think you could use that and be pretty happy with not having maybe that downwind charger, like I'm going back to the F1 lineup, like the Eagle, that's got that gliding speed for that downwind riding, or not quite the 7Cs for those really light days.
Right.
But if you wanted to kind of catch the middle, maybe size down a little bit, I think, and then just get a bigger wing. You've always said that too. Depending on the foil you're using, you can always size up on the wing size a little bit too.
Yeah.
So.
Especially if you got a decent board like a 70 liter, like you can slog that pretty well. You can build some speed on the water. It's not like you're on a 30 liter board where you're really asking, a lot from the wing, but also from the foil to give you that early lift. So
yeah. So that kind of answers the question, the 5, how I traded it.
Right.
I go down to one foil and just add some wings. So versus if I'm gonna have 2 foils, then I don't need as many wings, so I can cheat it. A little bit by going smaller on the wing or larger on the wing. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Could change.
And in our conditions, if it's blowing 45 to 50, it's pretty treacherous. It's survival out there, so maybe you can, just hold off on those. They're not that frequent. They're chaos. Really just make the most of those, 12 to 35-ish kind of days.
Yeah. And bottom line is, we talk on the phone a lot. It is about the pilot, the skill level of the person riding. And your mindset of what you think you need or don't need changes as you get better.
Right.
And as you get more experience and you learn. So I've refined a little bit. I think it's been true since my intermediate stages, my 5 that I would pick. But as I get a little bit more, advanced and practicing my skill set, I can see where I can cheat in certain areas and still have the same fun.
Right.
And we work in a shop where we can have all the candy, all the flavors, and have anything you want. And so
with the right picks, you can cover a lot of ground.
You can.
And
With only 5.
I'll also say that the more experienced you get, the more picky you get.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
You know,
That's true.
maybe you could do with less, but
Yeah.
I don't think we always do, and,
No.
and a lot of people don't.
No.
It's like the more experienced you get, the more niche performance you want,
True.
and the more picky you are about how it acts. And
Yeah.
maybe we put that on ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah, we do a little
But,
bit. But I think all of us would agree it's really about the wind. So trying to pick the right for the wind that you're riding.
Yeah, and the waves.
Yep, the waves are a nice
Be a
byproduct
consideration.
around here if they come up with a wind. It's like,
Yeah. A
Game
lot of
on.
times I pick my foil based on what the waves do.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to ride them in any way, and then everything else kind of is a fallout from that choice.
Sure.
And it's like I want this foil because this is what the wave is doing, and this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I need to size up on my wing. Maybe I gotta, you know,
switcheroo.
switcheroo on some of those variables. But
But you don't
yeah.
need more than 5. Take it from the shop, guys. I really believe that. If I were to lose my job and have to leave, or I was like, I'm done, see you guys, I could take 5. The 5 that I said, I'd be happy.
And I'd be real sure to call Jeff every time it was beyond, you know, his equipment and be like,
So yeah, you're not in
it's
the water,
sick
are you?
today, man. Oh,
Yeah, you
we
would,
can't
wouldn't you?
go, yeah.
Oh, talk. Yeah.
And I'd share it with you, of course.
Yeah, sure you would. Don't let him fool you. We were out this morning. He just took off. Then he comes back to check on me on a big wave, goes ripping around me. No, you're still a good wingman, man.
You're all set. You're all set.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
So there you
guys.
have it, man.
Yeah,
There's my 5.
that's 5. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and skipping, your morning brunch with the rest of the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. There's sacrifices to be made around here. It's all about our customers.
absolutely. Well, thanks again, Jeff. And
All right,
if you guys
yeah.
have any questions, comments, we'd love to hear what you guys would pick. If you could choose any 5 pieces of equipment, comment in the comment section below. We'd love to hear where you're coming from, maybe some of the reasoning behind those choices, or maybe you actually had to do that and
Budget.
you're only riding with 5 pieces of equipment and you're really happy with it. What is it? Why is it working?
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Got your mind right?
Oh, yeah.
All
This
right.
is easy. I can float. I can.
Yeah.